if you have been inconsistent with your sphere for some period of time, or you haven't built one yet, this isn't an overnight success. This is a long, long game.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Seeking the best, being my best. Do do da 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 da. Seeking the best, seeking the best, seeking the best, 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 best.
Welcome to Seeking the Best, the podcast for growth-minded real estate agents seeking clarity, focus, and a better way forward. I'm your host, Kathryn Stelljes, and sitting across from me is Patrick Fatica, our sound engineer, producer extraordinaire.
Good morning.
I'm going to do it too. Good morning.
Yeah.
It's bright and early.
Yep. We're going to welcome right off the bat before anyone gets any further in here. This is our first episode of the new season. And
yeah.
If you are listening to this, you can go to Spotify or YouTube and watch it on video.
I don't know why you'd want to do that. No, I'm just kidding. Apparently, there is a large group of people that like to watch podcasts.
Yes, and we're going to jump on that bandwagon.
Well, I am curious to see what happens with that. It's just a different audience that is maybe got Spotify, YouTube open and watching it versus listening. Like I listen to podcasts while I'm driving.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
All right.
So
let's do it.
Yeah, this is the halfway point of the year. First of all, we're at the halfway point.
Right.
Actually, we're past the halfway point.
Barely,
we're in month 7.
Yeah.
We've covered 2 different seasons so far this year. We talked all about time. Like we beat that horse to death.
Yes, we did.
I love talking about time management, though.
Well, it's one of the most important things for sure.
I think it is.
If you don't really have the grasp of the time management, then you end up running around all 100%. The time and you can't get anything done with any sort of consistency, right?
It's one of the things that, like, I think it's a foundational tool, but also at any point in your career, if you're feeling burnt out, it's probably a time management thing. It could be like you need leverage or something, but it's probably just time management.
Yeah.
There are so many ways to hack life and make you and give yourself more time and be more efficient. And that is just such an important thing in our world as real estate agents, where it is very easy to let other people dictate how you spend your time.
Right.
And then we got into season 2 where we talked about all of the lessons. So I dug deep into my 20-year history as a real estate agent and thought about all the different things that I've experienced and narrowed down some of the core lessons that shaped who I am as an agent, but also I think would help other people. Mm-hmm. That these are lessons that I learned, and I was hoping to share those so that other people don't have to make the same ones.
Yes.
So we finished up that season, and now we're going to be digging into lead generation.
A whole season on lead gen.
Yes, because everybody is seeking the miracle pill. Everybody is looking for how can I get more business? And we all know the answer lies in lead generation and lead follow-up, but there's so much that goes into every lead source to actually make it work. Mm-hmm. And then within each lead source, there's a reason why you should do it, or maybe why it's not a fit and why we avoid it. And there's just so much to understand about a lead source before you just say, okay, I'm gonna throw something at the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah, because the better you understand what to expect and emotionally, mentally, physically, monetarily, so what to expect your results to actually be before you start doing it, the better you understand that, then the easier it is to detect results.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you are already doing one of these things that we talk about, if you're not seeing results, maybe this uncovers the why isn't this working for me? And then that can help you either develop it more or say, man, this is exactly why I'm not doing it. I should probably look into something else that's going to work better for me.
Right. Yeah.
And remembering, like I just said, no matter what, it is a process and it takes time. Nothing is going to find you a listing tomorrow.
And when we
unless you've been, right. Unless you've been lead generating for months, you could get a listing tomorrow.
Right. Because you've spent the time. Right. So, and I think that's the thing is like, when you're talking about like, well, it takes time and it's a process, that's easy to hear, hard to understand. Because there's other elements of your life that are weighing on you. In a vacuum, in an experiment, it's easy to say, well, it's going to take this much time and blah, blah, blah. But that's excluding because you have a car payment that's coming up. And so I have to run over here and do this, whatever this is, or hurry to do that. Or I don't have time because I have these other things in my life that are dependent on me making sales. So so it's easy to say, well, this is going to take this much time, but it's hard to swallow. This is going to take that much time because I need the paycheck today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and then there's just whatever you decide to do to get business. You wake up the next morning and all of a sudden it's noon.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, where did that time go that I was going to start calling for sale by owners or whatever this new thing was? It's like gone and you've only made one.
Or you do it the first day and then you do it the second day. And then the third day, you say, well, I did it the first 2 days. Maybe today I'll just do this because I've been doing good.
Right.
And then
it's amazing.
The next day something happens and the car doesn't start. And so it's wiped out that day. And now all of a sudden it's Thursday and you think you did well. And if somebody were to ask you, did you do your lead gen? You'd say yes. But the reality is you only did it fully for one day.
I say this a lot to my productivity coaching clients, like life will show up. Yeah. Like you just said, a tire could go flat. Life will show up. You could get sick. A family member could get sick. Any number of things could happen at any given day. So on days where there isn't anything,
you got to covet that, right?
Got to be consistent on those days. And it's not an easy thing. It's like, it's simple. It's not hard to find.
Yeah. We say that
the phone numbers or addresses. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's
not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard. None of these
actual
things are
tasks
hard.
Aren't hard. Yeah, is what I was getting at.
It's all up here.
It's up there. Yeah.
It's all up in your head. It's like, can you battle what's stopping you to do the steps? The steps themselves are not hard. Everyone's made phone calls before. That's not hard to do. Everyone can keep a CRM together or keep a list together and be able to see, when did I talk to this person last? All of those things are all easy. Anyone can go and hold an open house. Can you hold the open house and get all the contact information? Yeah, of course you can. That's not hard, but can you do it up here? Can you get what's up here in your head, what's in here in your heart? Can you get those two things to work together so that it comes out of your mouth? And can you do it consistently? That's really what we're talking about here, more than like, here's how you're going to do an open house. And here's how you're going to do, we're going to try to get into some of the other stuff that's maybe blocking you from being able to do these things that are not difficult, but can be hard.
Let me just say something to you. If you've got an attention problem, which I don't have diagnosed, but I definitely feel like some days that I do.
Yeah.
It can be difficult to sit in doing the activity for too long. Like I say sometimes, like, I'll have good days and I have bad days. And what I mean is, like, I'll have a day where I'm just focused and I'm like burning through the people and I'm updating my tasks in my CRM and I'm doing it. And then I'll have a day where I get a couple calls in and all of a sudden I'm distracted doing something else.
Yeah.
And it's an attention problem. It's kind of a,
it's not like you don't know what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. It's there in front of you. It's just, and sometimes for me, it's not even like it's not that there's something else pulling at me all the time. A lot of times there are, an inspection, an appraisal,
like career
there's other
stuff,
things pulling, but sometimes it's just a focus issue.
Yeah.
It's just like I can't focus on that one thing for long enough. And there's strategies to get around that.
Yeah, you've battled with that your whole career.
Yeah.
Being able to focus for a length of time. When Kathryn, she always has like one day where she works from home and doesn't go into the office.
And that's the ideal.
Ideally, right? It happens most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. But I can see because this studio that we're in is my office and this computer is my computer where I do all of my work. So I can tell when Kathryn's having a good day because I don't see her all day, even though she's home. And then there's other days where every 20 minutes or so, she comes in and says, "What are you doing?" And I can
Don't tell my secrets.
I can tell that that's a day that she's having difficulty staying focused on stuff.
Yeah.
So these are all things. And if that happens to you, it's why it's so important when you have an opportunity and you are focused to really dedicate that time to things like finding leads.
Yeah.
Because that at some point there's going to be
a day, maybe tomorrow, where it's not there.
Right. So today, what are we getting into today?
Well, so we're starting with the most important one that everybody knows it. Everybody hates it. No, it's your sphere of influence. And
sphere versus database, right?
Yes. So I always like to clarify database, however you say it, versus sphere, because I will ask people sometimes, like, how many people do you have in your sphere? And they'll say like 4,000. And I'm like, yeah, probably not. That's probably
your database.
Right? And your sphere are those people that actually know who you are. And it's unlikely that you have thousands of people that know who you are. If I said, "Hey, do you know Joe Schmo?" And so your sphere are the people that actually know who you are and generally like you, like you're on good terms. They don't have to be your best friends. They're people that you come into contact with, though, in some way. Maybe you went to school with them. Maybe you have kids in school with them from your networking group, the gym you go to, a book club you're attending. There's tons of places where you would have sphere of influence.
Now we would consider, if you're just starting as a new agent, those people have the potential to be your sphere, but they don't become your sphere until you have all of their contact information, telephone number, mailing address, email address. They become the sphere. Otherwise, they're just potential sphere.
Well, so the reason we're going to talk about sphere is because it's probably the greatest opportunity that you're losing right now. You're losing deals that you could be getting from your sphere. And so we want to cover that one, because if you talk to any successful real estate agent across the world, probably the largest portion of their business is coming from their core database, which would be sphere of influence or past clients.
Mm-hmm.
And
so real quick, so that you're speaking from a place of authority, how much of your business percentage-wise, a roundabout, comes from sphere past client referral? Yeah.
So last year was like 80 something, like 82%.
82%. Okay. So 82% of all of your business comes from this channel.
And at any given time in my career, it was 50 to 60%. It's gotten more over time because I've been focused.
Gotten bigger.
It's gotten bigger, but I've also been focused on getting more out of that.
Right.
And because I see the big picture, which is that it is harder and harder to get in front of people you don't know.
Right.
Everybody's got these days, and I'm saying a blanket statement, hear me out. Not everybody does, but people have those filters on their phone now where like you can't even get through to leave a voicemail unless you say who you are.
Yeah.
And text messages, it's super easy to unsubscribe or like ignore, right? That's a bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much noise that it's very hard to get in front of people that you don't know.
But your sphere
already knows who you are, and you're probably connected on social media, or you could easily be,
or
like, because they know who you are,
person.
or you cross paths in person. So you're going to automatically be able to connect with them at a greater level than you would be for anyone else, which is why you can convert at a greater level too. And we'll talk more about each of these topics of lead generation. We're going to talk the behind the scenes parts of it, but then we're also going to talk about the numbers and give you like the simplest
way to see success.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay. I just wanted to throw in one last thing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you said 80% of your business, give or take, comes from past clients, sphere, or past client referrals, right? So everybody knows what those are. And speaking from a place of authority, this past year, you're in the top 100, right? Of all agents in Central Florida.
Yeah, which is like 20-something thousand agents, which I'm proud of.
I just want our listeners to know that when we say Kathryn is in the top 100 selling agents in all of Central Florida, over 20 some odd thousand agents, and 80% of her business comes from past clients and referrals, you guys can do the math on the success that she's seen by doing exactly what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, my biggest fan.
I am your biggest fan, but I'm just stating facts.
No, it's true.
I'm not blowing any smoke. These are facts. So
let me tell you why. So number one is I've dug deeper into it by adding a VIP program and really giving thanks and gratitude to the people who support me most.
Mm-hmm.
And that has helped me get a larger percentage of my business from that group of people. And then the reason I started from the beginning, though, was more about like just not knowing what else to do. And somebody said you should do this. And it's like, it is actually easier than calling strangers.
Yeah.
But there's this interesting thing that happens. Like people actually do avoid their sphere because they think it's easier. Like there's like a large percentage of people that would rather call strangers. They'd rather go throw thousands of dollars on internet leads, send thousands of dollars in mailers, go door knock to strangers' houses. They would rather sit in open houses every weekend. And there's nothing wrong with open houses. That was my second big thing when I was getting started in real estate.
Yeah.
But they'd rather do all of that than talk to somebody that already knows them and likes them, and that they would have a higher rate of success because it feels so personal when somebody says no.
Right.
When somebody rejects you. And when you're first starting your sphere database, like
I bet you can feel embarrassed and bad if you get all of the gumption up to call that person that you haven't talked to in 6 months. And maybe you've never actually called them before. You've just kind of run into them or whatever in friend groups and whatever. And this is the first time you're actually going to call them. So you get all the nerve up to do it. And then you run through your script that isn't very well rehearsed and you don't really know what to say. And you finally ask some sort of way, do you want to buy any real estate or know anyone who does? And they go, no. And you go, that was a waste of time. This doesn't work.
Yeah, it's that. And
I feel bad. And I took all of that energy and now I'm exhausted. And it was because I was all up in my head and it didn't work and they weren't interested. And now what? Do I call them what am I supposed to do? Call them in 3 weeks and ask them again?
Yeah.
This is weird and I don't like it. I'm just going to go do open houses and I'm going to send out postcards.
So that's what happens is like you get started. Someone tells you should create a sphere.
You don't know anything. So you go, okay.
And so you start to build a list. So there's a couple things that happen. One is that people don't build it big enough. And so because they think like it has to be like their close friends or something, they don't understand that it's like, no, just anybody that knows who you are. Like think of anyone that you've interacted with over the last like 10 years, that can be part of your sphere. Yes, there's going to be some uncomfortable initial calls when you're building or rebuilding a sphere of people that you know and they know you, but you haven't talked to in a while. Sure. But what happens is, yes, they make those calls and they get a no, like, no, I don't know anybody, or worse to their ego is, no, I don't want to give you my email address. I don't want to get any email.
Yeah.
Like when you're
I don't need it. I know you're an agent.
Yeah.
If I ever need you, I'll give you a call.
And so,
right.
it feels like this rejection, even though it's really not, feels like rejection. That hurts. And then you don't build it large enough. So then you don't see results and you think it doesn't work.
I wonder if it's also like, you always have to put yourself in other people's shoes. So let's just say you have somebody that is in your life. You don't really know them, right? Somebody that you would consider being part of your sphere, but you haven't really talked to them. You sort of know who they are. They know who you are. You're friends on social media, right? But you don't really interact. Probably you've never even liked one of their photos or vice versa, but you know them, right? If that person sent you a message in Messenger and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know I've started my own house painting business, blah, 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 blah. How would you feel if they asked you, do you know anyone who wants to get their house painted? I'm looking to build my business and, I'm just starting out. I'm really excited, blah, blah, blah. How would you feel? It wouldn't bother you at all, right? You might even say, let me think about that for a minute.
Yes.
Good for them.
Exactly. Why? Because you know who they are.
Right.
And you're like, oh, good for them. No, I don't know anybody right now.
Yeah.
But no, man, I don't. But good luck.
Reverse it, right? Now you're the one making the call to them about your new business that you're starting. Well, these people want to help you.
What I think we think about if it was a stranger and a stranger messages you on Facebook and says, got any houses that need to get painted? I'm a new painter in the area. Right. Are you going to use them or respond to them?
Even better, the business card on the front door when you get home.
Yeah.
We're a tree service company. We're in your neighborhood. That happens all the time, right? Do you call those people? You don't know those people.
And so when we get into the numbers, this will make a lot of sense. Is like, no, you're likely to throw it in the trash. And so is
your postcard.
98% of other people, which is why that kind of activity gets a 2% response rate, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas people you might say back to the guy on Messenger, I don't really know anybody that needs to paint, but good luck with everything. And then they reach out to you in a few more months and say, hey, I just wanted to share with you, I've got some jobs going and things are going really well. If you know of anybody, let me know. Super casual. You'd be like, oh, cool. Good for him. He got things started.
Yeah.
I don't really know anybody today, but yeah, I'll keep you posted. And then somebody comes across your way and says, God, I'm looking for a painter. Would you be likely to refer this person who's now shown you that they're doing it,
engaged in doing it, and all
and
of
you
those
already
things,
know
right.
them and like them in some way, or you wouldn't be Facebook friends with them. If they were a terrible person, you would have unfollowed them, right?
Right.
So it works the same way, which is why the likelihood of converting people from people that you know and getting a referral is 2 pieces of business for every 12.
And you know what that example we gave is a great one, right? Because people go, what's the other excuse that agents always use when they say they don't want to call their sphere? Well, they don't have any money.
Well, let's hold on a second. Yes. Let's go through a couple more though.
Okay.
Because
you want to list out like reasons?
Well, yeah. Just a few reasons you might be avoiding your sphere. Because the money thing is definitely, if you're younger, you tend to think that, well, my friends are all the same age and they don't have any money. And it's like, but do they have parents? Do their parents have friends? It's not about...
They don't own a house to be painted.
Right.
Right. But in our example of that, it wasn't the person that you were contacting. It was somebody they knew.
Right. It's not about your actual sphere. It's about all of their sphere too, and being the top of mind real estate agent. So any excuse like that, like, oh, well, my sphere is, doesn't have any money, or they're the opposite, right? Or everybody I know is my parents' friends. And I'm just talking from like a younger agent perspective, only because when I got into real estate, I was young. Mm-hmm. So you could say, oh, my parents' friends are all that I know that have money, but they wouldn't trust me with their real estate needs. Like, you can make excuses in any direction my point.
Yeah, we've heard them all.
Yeah. Then there's also people who might be new to an area and rebuilding a sphere. Yeah. And you say, well, I don't know anybody here. And it's like, yeah, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to go out and meet people and add them to your sphere.
Right.
But the other reason, so people think there's no point because they think their sphere has no money or something like that. They think it doesn't work because too many people have said no. They don't build it large enough, so they don't get any results from it. They think they've called their sphere. They think that they've done it. They're like, oh no, I've already exhausted my sphere. Like I've heard this before. I've already exhausted. I've called them so many times now. And I'm like, okay, well, when's the last time you called and talked to everyone in your sphere?
Let me see the CRM.
Yeah. Well, you ask that question ask it to yourself, and you probably will say, well, I just talked to everybody like 3 months ago.
This just happened to you, didn't it? Weren't we just talking about this?
Yeah.
I forget what it was, but we were just having this conversation about somebody that you were like, I think I just talked to them. And it was like, nope.
Yeah, no. We human beings have a really bad sense of time, I've discovered.
Yeah.
Patrick is the worst culprit.
I'm notorious. Yeah.
But people think we've talked to them recently, and then you look and it's like, oh no, oh my gosh, that was like a year ago.
Yeah.
It's happened to me before.
Yeah.
That's why a system is important, but I'll digress.
That. Yeah.
But what else happens? You put everybody on an email and people unsubscribe. And it's like, it starts to feel negative. But you're not looking for everybody to do business with you. You're looking for their referrals. And if somebody unsubscribes, oh well, find somebody else to replace them.
And it's not, that's the other thing too, is like, it's hard because you're in this particular thing, you're dealing with people that you know, right? So there's already emotion tied up into that. And then you're dealing with, well, I'm trying to sell myself in my quote experience, and then they're not interested. So now that's another hit on me as well. And then all of these emotions get all tied up into it. But trying to look at it, and maybe this happens with experience, it starts to not feel as bad, but you have to look at what the numbers are. And it's like most of the people that you're calling aren't going to work with you. They're not going to send you business. If they were, then the percentage wouldn't be 12% of work, of leads, right? Of deals. It would be 87%. And it's not. Like 87% of the people aren't going to ever work with you or send you business, but there's going to be 20%.
Well, you're saying the wrong numbers, but I get your point.
You get my point.
We'll get into the real numbers after the break.
My point is that there's going to be more people who don't work with you than do.
Of course.
Right. So,
and listen, there are people in my sphere who have given me like multiple referrals who have not actually done business with me before.
Oh yeah, that happens. Yeah, for sure.
Not everybody moves.
Yeah.
Like in your career, I'm thinking of somebody in particular that is an older person that's lived in their condo for years and isn't going anywhere, but she's referred at least 3 deals that I can think of off the top of my head.
Right. That's a true sphere, right?
Because sphere. I know who that person is from a networking group that it's not even a networking group. It was a Main Street organization that I became a part of. Mm-hmm. And I only know that person through that group.
Right. So it wasn't like an old friend from high school. It was somebody you went out, you said, I think if I join this organization, I'll be in front of people and I can talk about real estate and maybe I'll meet some people and I can get them into my sphere. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And here we have, it's been 12 years since you were in that group, maybe a little more. And this person that she met then is still sending referrals because she's staying in contact with them and having conversations. And
so what happens over time is like, it's not that she thinks I'm the best real estate agent. She has no idea. She's never worked with me.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Right.
It's that obviously she can tell I'm professional in my manner, right, but it's because I've consistently kept in touch.
And whoever she did refer to you had a really good experience. Yes. And then you know that got back to them. And,
right. Once you get the first one, you've got to treat them really well. And then that leads to the future. But it's like the initial referral, it was because I was top of mind. Yeah. I was first in line to her mind share for real estate agent. That's all it was.
Yeah.
100%. Mm-hmm. But anyways, we feel like we're bothering people. we don't. And then the biggest avoidance thing, I think, is that after you initially build a sphere, so if you've been in real estate for a few years and you're not seeing success, and you're realizing as you're listening to this, it's because you're not actually calling the people or there's no systematic plan. You built the initial list, you call them once, you send them a few things here and there, but there's not like a consistent plan. Mm-hmm. Then you realize that the avoidance part is because you don't know what to say.
Yeah.
You feel like, well, what am I supposed to say every time I call this person? Do I just ask for business? Like you get to a point, because I've been there, you get to a point where you're like, I can't say the same thing I said last time. Mm-hmm. That feels weird. I don't want them to think I'm always just calling, asking for business. So I can't just call up and say, hey, it's me again, looking for business. That's one of the reasons I added a VIP program, because I have events that then I can invite them to.
And real quick, the VIP program is a program in which once you've done business with Kathryn, and then some select few who haven't, but are also in the sphere and everything. So sphere and past clients. You're part of this special VIP program where we do raffles and giveaways and special events, and everybody's always invited, right? And there's coffee perks for referrals, and we do there's all kinds of stuff happening all the time. Because there's all kinds of stuff happening all the time, those are all reasons to call these people.
Yeah.
Right. And we didn't just turn it on one day. This is over years of building stuff. And there's, major events, tentpole events that happen all year long, and then micro events that happen. Mm-hmm. So not everybody comes to everything. Not everybody even, and there's some people who refer Kathryn business who've never been to anything. But that's because she's got reasons to call these people, send letters to these people, reach out to these people, to always invite, saying, sorry, we missed you. Would you want to take part in this? Blah, 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 blah. So.
Yeah. It gives you a reason to continue that relationship beyond business.
Yeah.
And
then that also works its way into, whatever you guys need after you close to past clients, and being a concierge basically of anything that they might need is also another way to continue that relationship. And I'm just calling to see how the house is. What else? What are you guys planning this year? Do you need any help finding anybody, whatever it happens to be?
Yeah. So I think I listed off the reasons that we avoid doing it. But it all kind of comes back to mostly it is a fear of rejection that feels so personal because it's people you know. So if they unsubscribe, they say no, they list with someone else, you find out their friend sold their house and you're like, why didn't they send me that referral? You feel like so personally offended that it causes you to avoid doing the activities that are the only thing that will lead to results.
Right.
Because you have to be top of mind. If that happened, if they sold their house and didn't call you, number one, they might have already had an agent that they trusted. Mm-hmm. And so they knew you, they liked you, but they didn't necessarily trust you in that capacity. That's not that, although it can feel offensive, and I totally get that. It's like, that's going to happen. It's all a numbers game, and it's not a personal rejection of you. It just means somebody else was top of mind.
Yeah.
And you didn't have enough time to build that mind share before they needed to sell.
Right. But you're building the mind share with somebody else right now.
If you're doing these activities,
And then a year from now, when they are ready, even though they know somebody else that's an agent, you're going to get it. And then they're going to be upset.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, why'd they use that person while you're putting your sign in the yard? Mm-hmm. It's like, it is a numbers game, and you just kind of have to but it's why it's so important too, as well. Like that when you're doing that, the consistency of that and always being aware that only way that you stay at the top of mind is by consistently being in contact with them and doing it once and then saying, well, now they know I'm a realtor, so when they need me, I'll be here. Mm-hmm. Is like the biggest mistake you can make, is thinking that they already know.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to say two more things real quick before we take a break.
Okay.
So one is just don't confuse silence for rejection. Like people not answering your call or not calling you back or ignoring your emails. And like, you're going to have, if you build it to 200, like 180 of them probably aren't going to respond regularly.
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating that statistic, but it's just because they don't need anything right that minute. And so
life gets in the way.
Yeah. Like people are busy. Like how many times have you not returned a phone call because it didn't really have a reason to?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you call and you say something like, "Oh, I'm just checking in, give me a call back," it doesn't seem like you really need to call back. And like, I don't need any real estate services right now. I'm busy. Dog gets sick on the floor, and then you're off with the rest of the day, and you forget that your realtor called you back. That's not. That silence is not them rejecting you. It's or saying, "Don't call me again," or anything like that. Right. And I think too often that happens. And the other part is this is always over time. So if you have been inconsistent with your sphere for some period of time, or you haven't built one yet, this isn't an overnight success. This is a long, long game.
Yeah.
It's about consistency over time and making sure that you just do the things on like a 40 touch plan. And when I say 40 touch, we'll talk about the numbers in a little bit, but like it's calls, it's emails, it's direct mail, it's all of the things. So you do need to have first name, last name, email, phone number, mailing address for all of these contacts, or you won't see the same results.
Right. There's no consistency because of the number of touches that you need to be able to do. It's not 40 phone calls in a year. Yeah. Right. So if all you have is their phone number, then you're not going to contact them 40 times, right? Because you're not going to call them 40 times. You're going to call them a few times, and that's not enough to get top of mind. Yeah. So that's a huge part of it is make sure that that's what I said at the beginning. They're potential sphere. They're not sphere until you have all their information. Then they become sphere, right?
I said I was going to say two things before the break. I'm going to say one more thing. Okay. One more thing before the break.
That's okay.
Is just these are some questions I think you should ask yourself if you feel like sphere isn't working.
Okay.
And if you've been in real estate, sphere would also include those past clients. Like once you've met them and you've done business with them, they 100% are now your sphere of influence.
Right.
And they can even have a greater return for referrals
because they've worked with you.
Now they have the trust component.
Right.
But there's some questions to ponder. So like how many people are actually in your sphere?
For reals.
That you have those 5 pieces of contact information.
For real. Not
for realsies.
Yeah. Don't guess. Like really, like how many? Because I think I've said before, 200 is like the minimum.
Well, and we'll get into, it depends on what your goal is. We'll get into that with the numbers. But that is the general consensus in the industry that you should build it to at least 200 right away.
And remember the key word there is least. At least 200. Yeah. So you want to see the minimal amount of success, build it to 200.
So, and then when's the last time you contacted them? Like really go back and look. And if you don't have a way to look, that means that you don't have a system.
Right.
Then if it's not trackable, then you really have no idea.
Then it doesn't exist. Right.
Right. So then that would be like step 1 is how am I going to consistently track if I'm doing these activities so that I know that they happened?
Right.
And
it's the only way to be able to look back and see if it's working.
And then how clearly did you ask for referrals? And I would say, so
that's, okay.
When it's not that every conversation you have with someone needs to be like, hey, who do you know that's buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Right, yeah. But you do need to ask occasionally and make sure they know that that's important to your business. So when that's another reason I like events is because
it's all focused around the business.
It's focused around
like you're the realtor and you're doing a Think Live Be
it's event. A client appreciation event. And then, hey, if you come and you bring me a referral, you get more entries into your raffles. And it's this fun
it's a fun club. And even our Christmas party that we have in our home is a client appreciation holiday party. It's not Pat and Kathryn's Christmas party that you're invited to. It's a Think Live Be client appreciation holiday party.
And it's literally a thank you for supporting me in my business, which reiterates the point that's what this is. Yeah. That's what I need you to do. Yeah. I'm a small business. Word of mouth referral is how I do business, and I need your help. And thank you for the help you've done so far, or thank you for the business you've done so far.
Yeah.
And so those are just some questions to ponder.
Yeah.
As we get into now why you're avoiding it.
Right.
But let's talk about the real opportunity that's being lost by not doing the activities.
Okay, let's take a break.
If you're enjoying this episode and want more ways to seek your best, not just in your business, but in how you spend your time and energy, there are a few easy places to connect with us beyond the podcast.
Over on YouTube, you can find us at Seeking the Best Pod. We share full episodes of the show, short coaching clips, reviews of real estate products, and tips on building a real estate business that actually works in real life. We post videos on Thursday mornings.
Or find us on Instagram at On Seeking the Best. There we post behind the scene moments, short practical tips, and some of the real unfiltered stuff that doesn't always make it into the show.
And if you're looking for episode supplements like the Candy Bag, where Kat posts more in-depth ideas that we discuss on the episodes, head to onseekingthebest.com. You can learn more about us, buy some Seeking the Best merch, or send us a question that we'll answer on the show.
However you connect with us, thanks for being here and keep seeking your best.
And we're back.
Okay. I'm going to try really hard not to get in the weeds on numbers.
Yes, let's.
In case you don't know what that means, in the restaurant industry, when you get really busy.
Oh, yeah.
Like I say that all the time, and I realize that not everybody worked in the restaurant industry before.
Right.
But when I was younger, like college, high school days and stuff, and Patrick worked in a restaurant and stuff. And then I worked in a bar and stuff. And so when you're really busy, you're in the weeds.
Uh-huh.
And so I love numbers.
Yeah.
I'm admitting it to the world.
Yeah.
I love numbers.
Everybody knows you like to calculate.
Well, listen, I think that it helps you really, if you track things, it helps you determine.
A lot of times, though, a lot of people don't want to track. Well, I know, everyone knows what numbers do. I think the problem is that people don't want to see those numbers. And so it's easy. A lot of times it's like, I don't want to see what that is. So it's better for me just not to do that.
I think it makes it more clear.
I know, but sometimes you don't want to see how clear it is. Is my point.
I'd rather know that I need to do X number of calls this week.
And some people would rather just not think about it.
Well, that's true, but I don't think they're listening to this podcast.
Maybe.
But I think numbers, if you track things, numbers can be like this crystal clear path to achieving your goals. And why wouldn't you want to know exactly what you need to do every day? Mm-hmm. Because then it makes your life so much easier.
Sure.
You might not be able to live up to it. Like we talked about earlier, life gets in the way, focus problems. There lots of things, distractions come into play. Things can happen that don't allow you to do the thing that's on the page, but at least you know what you need to do.
Yeah. If you're going to hit your goals every single time, your goals aren't high enough. Right?
Wow. Yeah, could be.
So not could be, is. Like if you're not, I think that depends. If you're always hitting your goals, that means that you're not setting your goals high enough.
I think people's goals are people's goals are personal, and if you want to sell 12 houses a year, and you set that goal and you hit it consistently every year, and that's what you want for yourself. Who am I to say that that's not good enough?
All right. But that's going to be few and far between.
True. Most of us set a goal and we can't actually achieve it because we either set too high of a goal that's really realistic for the time frame. Not that it can't be done eventually, but it's unrealistic for the time frame that you have.
And that's okay too.
I like to do that.
Kathryn likes to set unachievable goals.
Unattainable goals because it pushes me to at least get closer to that.
Yeah.
So I like to do that. It all depends
on your style. Yeah. Okay.
But the point is that numbers help you know what to do.
Okay.
Then becomes sort of the how. Like, okay, so if the numbers say I need to talk to my sphere quarterly, and I need to, in order to sell X number of houses, I need to have 200 people in my database. The what is quarterly calls, 200 people. The how is, how do I meet 200 people if I don't know them?
Right.
Like, how do I do that? And then how do I convert, which would be, what do I say?
Right. So like what we were saying before the break about the agent who maybe moved to a new town right? Doesn't know anybody. So how am I supposed to build this sphere of at least 200 people, right? Or, I had a group of friends falling out, no longer friends with that group. So I don't really know that many people, my husband and I are homebodies and we don't really go out. And so what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Well, okay. So the MREA math. MREA, in case you don't know, is the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book that came out in I think 2000, 2001. And it is the business models for a successful real estate business and it's scalable. So if you want to sell $100,000 in GCI or gross commission income, or you want to sell $1 million, the models work no matter what, because it's all math. What they found after studying hundreds, and now it's been another 20 something years, thousands of agents and their businesses, what they found was that for every 50 people in your not met database, so what is not met? Strangers. For every 50 people in your not met database, you would have one piece of business. That's 2%.
Right.
And then
that's that you've spoken with, right? That's not just contact. Like, that's not like for every 50 postcards you send out, you're going to get one person.
Well, it's, let's not get into that. You're talking about.
Or you're saying not Mets 50 to 1.
50 to 1, not Mets that you have marketed to over time.
Okay. That's what I wanted to do.
Yes.
That part.
So you're going to get me in the weeds on things.
No. That you don't have to get into it, but it's not like what it isn't is I sent out 50 postcards. I should get one lead.
Correct.
I just wanted to make that clear.
Correct.
Okay. Let's move on.
Now, moving on.
Because we're going to talk about postcards some other day.
Yes. Because actually, no, but let me finish. That's actually not what we're talking about. I'm just telling you that back to the strangers is like people want, like they think that faster results will happen if they talk to their strangers. And it's like, well,
you haven't earned the trust or know yet.
Maybe if they're for sale by owners, it expires because at least you know that they need to sell their house. Everybody else, like direct mail, absentee letters, golden letters, all of these other things you can do that we'll talk about in another episode. That's 50 to 1. 50 to 1. Over time. Marketed to properly. And so Sphere. Marketed properly. It's always going to be like you have to still communicate with them over time.
Right. You have to follow the model of communication.
That it would be, you would have 2 pieces of business for every 12 people.
Right.
Which is a 16% conversion.
Right. So think about that 50 to 1. What was it? 12 to 2?
It's 12 to 2 or 50 to 1. Which do you want? I want 12 to 2.
Why is it 12 to 2 and not 6 to 1?
Because actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. They say in the book, it's because one would be like a piece of business from the database, and one would be a referral.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
We're not necessarily looking for
the sphere to do the deal.
Yeah. And then, so I think one thing to mention is that over time, the market changes. And so the numbers might not be exact, like 16% every year might not be exact if it's in kind of a declining slow market.
Right.
But
you'll catch up when the market shifts and it becomes a busier market, so that over time, year to year, it averages out to 16.
would say that's probably true. And then also, like, what I know to be true is a lot of people get like at least 10%. So even if 16 is kind of a stretch,
right,
10% is 100% doable.
It's like the safe zone. Almost.
Yeah. So somewhere between that. Now, can you get 16% from your sphere even in a down market? 100%. Because
Kathryn can.
Because it's all about how many communication touches.
Yeah. How long have you been doing it?
How long? Right.
How big is the sphere? Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
the percentage would still
be the same, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But so think about it like this. So this is where it depends on what your goal is. But if let's say you're brand new. So if you're brand new, that you're building a sphere of 200 people, you're not going to get 20 closings from that group of people in year one.
Right.
Even though that's 10% of 200.
Well, yeah, because you haven't contacted them.
You haven't done 40 touches. They don't know who they don't.
It takes the first year just to get the first round of touches in.
You're not top of mind yet.
Yeah. It takes at least a year to do that. So then when we say long game.
Yeah.
But I want to say something else too about this long game. It's all long game.
Right.
That's
you're building a career.
You're building a career. That's the deal. Are things going to fall in your lap? Yeah. Is the phone just randomly going to ring? Is someone going to you're going to run into somebody and they're going to say, I need to buy a house. Is that going to happen? Yeah. Can you build a business on it? No, because there's no consistency. You don't know when it's going to happen. So you can't base any of your career on those chance things, right? But that's what you want to do. You want to say, well, I need it now. What can I do today? And it's like, you can't do anything, but
what you can do is just keep making the touches.
No, I mean, what can you do today to get a listing today or to get a buyer today?
And I'm saying the only thing you can do today is just do the activities.
Right.
And then if you do that over time, you will.
Oh, over time.
One day you will.
Yes. But one day that will happen. Yes. But that it will take that time. You can't base your business off of the what can I do today philosophy. I need to do something. What can I do? It's a long process of building up. And if you stay with it and you don't stop year 1, year 2, year 3, you're rolling into year 4 and you're pulling 16% out of your sphere, which was 4 years ago, 200, and now it's 350. Right. And then you keep adding. And because of that, it's compounding on itself and you're doing that many more sales. And those people are getting added to the sphere. And then those people are getting added to the sphere. And you can see how this will compound on itself year after year after year. But you have to start somewhere. And then nothing that we talk about in any of this stuff is going to be like, okay, podcast's over. Now I can go do this and I'll have a sale by the end of the day. There's nothing that does that. There's stuff that can fall into your lap, but you can't base your business on that.
Yes, agreed. That's always my thing. Anytime I say something about lead generation, I always add over time.
Yeah.
This isn't a today moment. There's a difference between being reactive and proactive. And you always want to be
That's a really good point.
Proactive agent. I'm proactively searching for leads for 90 days from now. I'm proactively doing that. And over time, that just turns into every week you do have business opportunity.
Yeah. It does. It leads to all of the opportunity.
So one of the things to think about as we come to an end of this conversation of your sphere and how important it is are you avoiding it because one of those reasons that we talked about? And if so, think about not only the opportunity lost for you and your family and your livelihood, but also think about truly, if you believe in yourself and you believe you're a strong agent, think about somebody else that's in your sphere that you don't reach out to because you're like, I don't want to bother them. And then one day you see they've listed their house. Mm-hmm. Now, number one, that's going to feel like a knife to the gut. Mm-hmm. And internally, you're going to feel like upset at them.
They knew I was a realtor. We were friends.
Like, why didn't they call me? And it feels like this personal offense. But it is our job to make sure that they think of us, that we're top of mind. It is not their job to remember. Mm-hmm. And now think about that person that you know, and maybe not well, but you knew, and their family. And now that listing has been sitting for 6 months and they've reduced the price and it expires. And then you still tell yourself, well, I don't want to bother them. And now they're in a bad mood because it didn't sell and stuff. It's like, if you believe in yourself, you know that you're the best agent to help them get that sold and help them move on with whatever that relocation or whatever is happening in their life, then go get it and go help them. And I think too often we think that, or we allow ourselves to not believe in ourselves. Like that's one of the biggest avoidances of all of it.
Yeah.
Is that if you really thought you were the best person for the job, you'd go make sure they knew.
Right. Because there's plenty of times on the other side, right? Where somebody's daughter has a real estate license, but they still list with Kathryn. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I've had that happen a few times.
And it's like you obviously, I don't know, like it's easier said than done, especially if you're a newer agent and it's like they listed the house with so-and-so who had who they've already done 3 deals with, right? And it's like, well, if that's the case and that other agent is better than you and they've been doing it longer and stuff, well, what are they supposed to do? Just use you because you're their friend? Right? Because there's going to come a time where you are the experienced one and you're going to hear the reverse of that. And you're going to be like, why would you just list your house with that person just because they're your friend? This is the biggest deal of your life. Wouldn't you want to list it with somebody with experience? Someday that's going to be you. You know what? You see what I'm saying? Like there's 2 sides to that thing.
Yeah.
So don't take offense to it personally as best you can. Your goal is to be in contact with as many people as you can, so you're not coveting every little thing, and every little thing is a slight and it makes you mad and gets you upset, because you should have more irons in the fire.
Well, so think about it like this. If you have 200 people in your database already, you're like, I know I do. I know that I've got all their contact info. I built it several years ago, but here I am. And I've done more open house business than I have actually business from my sphere. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Then I want you to go back and say, when's the last time you talked to them? What's the communication plan? How many touches are you going to have per year? The MREA book used to say 33 touches per year.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, what we found is that, well, I say we, like I was part of the research. Well, I was in my own way. They just didn't ask me about it.
Yeah.
But my own research has shown that it actually has to be more, because there's so much noise nowadays that, so my 40 plus touch plan, I'm going to say it real quick and then we'll throw it in the candy bag one day. Okay. Quarterly calls. You cannot miss the 4 quarterly calls. They have to hear from you. 4 social media messages.
Can I ask real quick? The 4 calls, do you have to talk to them?
No, but so I have my smart plan. It's the system by which I make sure that the calls happen. It's set up so that the quarterly calls happen, but there is a reminder to reach out again if I didn't talk to them.
So the first time, do you leave a message or no?
Yeah, leave a message.
Okay, so you leave a message, you don't talk to them. Then at some point during that first quarterly call somewhere the next week or whatever, you call back. If they don't answer, do you leave a message again?
Not usually.
Okay.
Because again, it's 40 plus touches.
Right.
And I want to talk to them on the phone. I do, but I'm also going to send them 4 social media direct messages or text, because although most of them I have like on Facebook or Instagram or something, not all of them I do. So they're going to get 4 social media or text messages. They're going to get 12 emails, 12 direct mail pieces, a birthday or anniversary card or both. And then you throw in the events, and this is how 40 plus comes into play.
Because it's not just the contacts from the events, which is what we do, but it's the actual events themselves.
Yes, too. And I missed something, 4 personal note cards. So,
can I ask when this is about this?
I know, I'm just kidding.
When we've been saying, well, we build it all around events, right? So we have all these different events and we do raffles and blah, blah, blah. But if you're a newer agent and it's like, well, I don't have any money and I don't do any events. And it seems like that's like building it over a few years, you can build it to those events. But I want to call people tomorrow, right? What do you suggest people can do besides just asking for business over and over again over my 4 quarterly calls?
Well,
like what are some examples of what people could actually?
So I do at the beginning of the year. I started doing this probably 5 or 6 years ago as I had team members. And so then they were making calls to their sphere too. And so I started kind of coming up with themed scripts. And what I mean is like, so say in January, then you're calling and you're saying like, Happy New Year. How are your holidays? So you have a personal moment and you say, you know what, we find a lot of people, start thinking about a move about, 3 to 6 months before they actually do. How's your home working out for you? Or what are your plans for this year? What are your real estate plans for this year?
Because it's the beginning of the year. So you can like say, what's the goal for the whole year moving forward, just in general. And
then there's another script that you can do at any time. There's lots of different versions of these kinds of things that you can find out there, but these stats change. So don't use this one right now because it might not be accurate. But at one point it was 1 in 7 people. You'll know 7 people that will move this year. Would you think of me for just 1?
Right.
So there's a quick referral call, and you could start it by simply saying like, hey, this is actually a business call.
Right.
I'm just looking towards our goals for next year, and I want to increase my referral business and do more with like-minded people. You may not know that you'll know 7 people that will sell next year. Would you think of me for just one?
Okay.
So just kind of theming it around that. Like right now is kind of summer. So I've been asking people like, got any summer plans?
Right.
Now that could mean anything. It's so open-ended. So it just kind of gets them talking, because remember, not every call is like business. You don't
have to gear it around real estate, because at some point they're going to ask you, how's the market?
Yeah. And then if you're asking like, what are your summer plans? That's going to hit the rapport building acronym FORD, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Mm-hmm. They're going to say something about a vacation or something, or if they really have a real estate need at this point, because over time, I've been talking to these people for years, over time, they're going to say, well, actually, we were thinking about maybe adding on, or we were thinking about putting in a pool, and then I can help point them to a vendor or whatever. Or, you know what, Kathryn, it's so funny you called. We were
just talking
about how this house
happens all the time.
And listen,
it's so funny you called. We were just talking about you.
And you could say like, oh, well, that person would have already called me anyways, because I communicate with them regularly. They probably would have. But the point is that they may not do something today. They might be starting thinking about it. And what if I get busy over the next 6 months and I forgot to...
And they run into somebody.
Who recently got their real estate license. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden that person is like hitting them.
Who just sold their house, and you got to use my guy.
And all of a sudden, well, we haven't heard from Kathryn. We told her we were thinking about doing something, but we haven't heard from her. Life gets in the way. So the way to avoid that is to just have this systematic plan where every day you go into your dashboard and a 40 touch plan, by the way, is every 9 days. Mm-hmm. Now you're not going to feel that, because it's quarterly calls, quarterly note cards, quarterly text or social media, the 12 emails and the 12 direct mail. That's like a marketing thing that's getting done. Mm-hmm. That's going to be on a mass scale. So it's not like you feel that touch happening, but they do, because they're seeing your name, they're seeing your face. Every 9 days is what it takes to be top of mind.
And you might say... What?
I was just going to say, like, if you change the recipe and don't do some of those things,
it doesn't work.
It's not going to work the same way.
Right. It's not going to work. You can't drop any of it. It all has to be done in this order and this number of times. Otherwise, the formula gets thrown off and you're like, I'm not seeing success.
Well, so just to say, like, we were talking about goals, like build it to 200. 200 is a great place to be. And it was that way because they did the math and said, well, it's 16%. Like if you got to that place, that's a pretty good living.
Yeah.
But listen, if your goal is 50, well, then you need to consistently over time
add to that.
Build your 200 to what, 1,000? I don't know if I can do that math off the top of my head.
Well, I mean, it's going to take a long time. If you wanted to get 50 from your sphere. But if you wanted to get 50, period, end of story, then you can also add different lead sources.
Oh, we were saying using 10%, not to 16.
Oh.
So if you wanted to do 50 though from your sphere, referrals, repeat, all that, you'd need to build it to 500 and then over time consistently be communicating with them.
Right.
And you still might not get that. This isn't like... Most people have 3 solid lead sources that they focus on. But this one should be number one every time.
Yeah. You don't want the old saying, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And that's true. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You want to be able to have lead sources from other ways. And so that it's healthy. Your lead sources are coming from a healthy place. But we're starting this series off with the different lead sources. This is the highest percentage that you'll see of contacts versus leads that come in, right? It's the highest one. So everything from here is either going to take more time or cost more money, because these people know you, like you, trust you. all of the other lead sources are missing one of those things. And you have or all of them. In which case you have to do it enough times to where it builds to a level in which they're willing to reach out to you.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yes.
Okay. So just think about it like this, like farming. If you start farming a neighborhood, your first goal is to get them to know you.
Mm-hmm.
They still don't like you or trust you. They don't know you well enough. Right. So then you get out into the community and then maybe some of them are going to like you because they've been out there, but they don't trust you yet. They don't have any reason to. You haven't given them any reason to. I'm just saying, like, extrapolate this over time. Like, think about how long it takes to get that many people in a large group to know you, like you, trust you, to use you or refer you.
Yeah.
And on the other end of the spectrum, you have this group of people, no matter what size you can build it to, there is no reason that it's not built and being communicated with regularly, because it is the biggest opportunity to have real estate success.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Make it simple. Your best move that you can use, not a grind. It's a tip that saves you time. Your best move. Do your best move.
All right, it's time for this week's best move. One simple, smart thing to focus on this week, not a giant to-do list, not something that takes hours, just one move that actually helps move your business forward. And this week, choose 25 people from your sphere and send a simple personal check-in.
So is that a text message?
Personal check-in.
That's fine.
Could be it could be any of the ones. If you don't have these people on a smart plan yet, or campaign.
Smart plan is specific to KW Command.
If you don't have them in some sort of if you're not communicating with them on a regular basis, let's just get our feet wet a little bit and not worry so much about spending 3 weeks coming up with plans. And then I have to design all these postcards and you get trapped in this idea of building this thing and you never make the calls.
I agree.
Go contact 25 people this week.
I agree. I have definitely been guilty of all or nothing. And so I'm sure that a lot of people are the same way. Like, you feel like if you don't have the 40 touch plan all figured out, that you can't even start.
Right.
Well, I don't have time to call 20 people today, so I'll just do nothing.
Right.
Instead of just send 25 text messages.
Yeah. Get in the habit of doing it. Start seeing some sort of conversations back and forth. You've got to start. You've got to start doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Small wins. Small wins. Small wins. Small wins. Small wins. Small wins.
Kathryn, you got a small win this week?
Okay, my small win is that somebody recently, so whenever you get a call from a lead, we find out where they came from, if they're calling in. And this person called in and he found us through AI.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Glad stuff we're doing is doing something.
It's and it found you through using some sort of Chat GPT or Claude or something, and then went through your social media, right?
Yep.
And then was like, let me see if this person's a normal person or not.
Yeah.
And then led to their phone call. So
yeah,
this is one of those things. This is a perfect example, right? What can I do today? Like, this is one of those things. Can we count this as a way to, like, oh, we can build our career off of this and react to it? What else can I do? Or are we going to count this as this is one of those things that just kind of happens through your career, where leads and stuff sort of fall into your lap from nowhere, but there's no consistency to it? You can't. It's great when it happens. It's awesome, right? It's a small win.
It's a small win.
But can you build your business off of those things versus something like your sphere?
Well, what you do is you proactively, just like I've gotten plenty of leads over the years from search engine optimization,
right,
which AI is just the modern version of that.
Yeah.
They're searching and they're finding. That doesn't happen overnight. That happens because of years of building things and adding to websites and adding reviews. So the proactive part is that you just have to keep doing that. You create systems to build your online presence.
That's a really good way to put it. I made it sound like this kind of just happened and fell in your lap.
How dare you?
But it took 20 years
of building stuff online.
Right. 100%. That was not the right approach. But what it feels like, I guess, I know what it feels like though is I do these certain lead sources. This is not one of them. And I got a lead from something that isn't me proactively going and trying to get like an open house or like calling a sphere or sending out a group of postcards. This is somebody who found you and then connected with you.
Well, that's why
it makes it, you can't really base your business off of that. But what you can do is this. 20 years experience led to this. It wasn't something that just fell into her lap. So know that when you see this kind of stuff happen with other agents, it's not just falling into their laps. It's all of the experience over time that is built to allow that thing to happen like that.
Yes.
Right. So no matter what can I do today, it's all building to
what
these
you can do
things.
Today is go
plan for 90 days from now.
Contact your sphere. Mm-hmm. If you do other lead sources, follow up and make sure that when you sell a house, you get a review, that your website has meta tags. Like you do these things consistently over time and it leads to these results.
Small win. And then my small win is if you guys can go to our website on seekingthebest.com. I've started to post little essay blog posts in there. You'll see that it has my name on it, not Kathryn's name on it, but Kathryn, of course, posting her blog once a week based on the episode. Mine are a little less real estate focused, but go check them out. It's fun.
Yeah.
So
he's good at analogies.
Yeah, there are a lot of analogies in there. So go take a read. And I try to keep them under 2 minutes because I know you guys all have stuff to do.
We got things to do. Right. They're good though. Go definitely read them.
Hey guys, for episode extras like the candy bag, which I just said, ask us questions or anything else we mentioned today. You can find it all at onseekingthebest.com. And for Kat and myself, thanks for listening, and we'll figure this all out next week.
Bye.
Fall down, get back up, keep on reaching, don't give up. Step by step, nothing less. This is how I seek the best.
This has been a Think, Live, Be production.